Today I'm going to show you the top 5 decks in Clash Royale. With a Royal tournament starting this weekend, these are going to be the best decks to get you very high wins. As always, the Royal tournament is normal battles, so these are going to be the best decks in the meta at the moment. We are going to be playing these decks inside a grand challenge, and I really hope you guys enjoy. If you do, leave a like. Leaving a like lets me know this video helped you. Also, if you could subscribe, it really supports me, and let's hop right into it. So the first deck we are going to show off is Minor Poison Control. Let's hop right into the first game here, and I'll show you how to play it live. Into a game, and first play we are just going to cycle a log. It's very neutral, and if he does nothing, we can then play a miner onto his tower. He goes bandit at the back though, so we will go with a mighty miner at the back. Obviously the mighty miner will perfectly counter the bandit, and it will start my counter push, which is very nice. He then goes P.E.K.K.A. Okay, so we are going to rush him opposite lane. We are going to hit him with the minor wall breakers combo. And what I could do as well, wall breakers connect, by the way, that electro wizard was really bad, but we could use the mighty miner's ability there, get him onto that electro wizard, and with some archers help, get a very deadly push. We are going to Tower of Power here on defense. Very easy defense for us. We are also going to play goblins, and you guys can just see in the first minute of this game, we have such a dominant lead, and there's really nothing this guy can do. Okay, he goes Ram Rider, so we are going to log that back and then go with a Mighty Miner once again, doing that just to melt the Ram Rider. It will get the charge damage, but that's fine. Going to once again Minor Wall Breakers onto his tower. It's such an annoying combo to stop, and he has to commit arrows to those wall breakers, which gives me a positive elixir trade. So I'm okay with that, and the miner still did damage. Now, something I want you guys to notice is I'm not really using my poison in single elixir time. That's because it's a pretty heavy spell, and you want to save that for double or triple elixir. Here I will poison the Phoenix just because it's good poison value, and of course I did split my archers just to cover both lanes. Playing it very slow, and like I said, we are a control deck. We are in control of this game. Archer takes out the Phoenix. We are going to minor wall breakers at the bridge. That mighty miner was meant to be wall breakers. I don't know what happened. I guess I misclicked. Whoops. But that's fine. We're just going to defend here. He goes with a monk in front of this P.E.K.K.A. So we are going to wait for the ability to run out. And then we are going to play some archers. We're also going to play some goblins here. And we kind of ignore the left side, but that's okay. We are going to go with a defensive miner. We are going to very quickly cycle back round to another Tower of Power. And that's the great thing about this deck. It's a super fast cycle deck, so you can always get back round to the answers you need. And even though I made a huge misplay with the mighty miner at the bridge, we are still in a very dominant position, and honestly I think we are going to win the game. I'm going to use my mighty miner's ability now, get away from that Phoenix. This electro wizard is a bit scary, so we are going to just go all in here at the bridge because he can't stop this. He has nothing for these wall breakers, and that is a good game. Absolutely nothing that guy could have done. Even with my misplays, we dominated him. This is the best deck in the game at the moment, and if you guys want a more detailed breakdown of this deck, I made a whole video about this. Moving on to deck number 2, we have Electro Giant. And with Electro Giant, you can play in single elixir time. It really doesn't matter. We are going to split archers, covers both lanes, is very neutral. And this guy goes with a monk at the back. That's fine. We are going to play a Phoenix down the same lane. And really, we're just waiting. We're just seeing what deck he is. And you guys can see there he does go with some archers. So we are going to Barbarian Bow. I Barbarian Bowed off to the side in case he used the ability. I didn't want him to reflect my Barbarian Bow. That would have been very bad. We are going to use my Golden Knight's ability here. Boom, get him dashing onto everything and protect this Phoenix egg. Forcing out arrows, that's an extra 3 elixir he got forced out, which is very nice for us. And honestly, I think this guy is going to be Royal Giant. So we are going to start an Electro Giant at the back. He goes Phoenix, that's fine. And with no Fisherman in cycle, that's why I decided to go in with my Electro Giant now. We are going to Archers this Phoenix very easily, and you guys can see he's forced out a Fireball as well. Phoenix should take out this baby Phoenix, and although we didn't get any damage, I did that more just to pressure my opponent. Fisherman coming towards me, I could ignore it, but I'm just going to play a Golden Knight. It's going to be annoying. He's going to have to play something to respond, and I'm going to use the ability again just to be annoying. So this monk, I'm guessing he's going to use the ability, yeah, so I'm not going to Barbarian Bow onto it. That would have been very silly. We are going to obviously cannon this Royal Giant, going to play archers as well to help out. Golden Knight, and we will use his ability just to take out the archers and a pretty okay defense. He also goes goblins. Goblins are going to get taken out by my tower, and we want to go same lane as this guy. Electro Giant, you always want to go same lane as your opponent, and that's what we are going to do. We are going to play another cannon here for this Royal Giant, going to Barbarian Bow those archers. Fisherman is actually helping me. He brought my Electro Giant closer to his tower. We do get a baby Phoenix. We are going to Golden Knight at the bridge and play some archers. He's not going to use his ability because he's going to try and counter my Electro Giant. So these archers will melt that monk and boom onto the tower. One push is all it takes, and we get a massive damage lead. We Phoenix, we cannon, very easy defense. He arrows, but even that isn't enough. And then we protect the egg. Protecting the egg is super important and very annoying for them to deal with because you then get a baby Phoenix. And here we might be able to get a good tornado dash. At least I'm going to try. Yes, that is good tornado value. And that is a super important trick to learn with this deck, that tornado dash. It's very cheesy, very broken, very overpowered. Anyway, we are 2 lightnings away, so we have to like do a little bit more chip damage to him. That might be enough with a tornado. It is. Okay, so that is going to be a good game. A very easy deck to use. Moving on to the next deck, we have Mortar Bait. And first play of the game, we're actually going to cheese him with the Miner Minion Horde combo. If they don't have a good answer for this, they are in trouble. And it looks like he doesn't because this Minion Horde is going to ruin his day. And I was able to start in hand him. Miner did a ton of damage. We forced out a delivery and a tombstone, which was super good. He's cycling, but honestly nothing good. So we are going to Mortar here. And we are going to just Scammy this Miner, making sure it doesn't hit my tower. We are going to Archers this Inferno Dragon, and we have a very dominant lead. Once again, a deck that doesn't take a whole lot of skill. We are going to Skeleton King in front of these Archers, wait for him to delivery, and then we pop the ability. I'm kind of surprised he didn't delivery sooner. Maybe he didn't have an elixir, but you guys can just see we're going to win this game very easily. And 81 damage on that right side tower, that is arrows range. And at this point, we can just play purely defensively, so that's what we are going to do. We are going to arrows his tower, say good game. Against a Miner control player, we were able to win very easily with some start in hand cheese. The next deck is Graveyard Freeze. This is currently the best graveyard deck in the meta, and even though Miner Poison is so popular, this deck can beat it. I just played 2 games and you guys can see in both games, they had Miner Poison, and in both games, I was able to outplay them and win. The key with this deck is catching your opponent off guard. You have to freeze cheese, and that is super important. You can combo it with your Mighty Miner, or you can combo it with your Graveyard. We're currently 5-0, let's hop into another game and see if we can win again. Into a game here against a good player. He has a high tournament finish, and you are a Graveyard deck, so you are waiting for double elixir time, but this guy, however, does not care. We have to defensive freeze. Very unfortunate situation, a very bad starting hand. We didn't have our building, we didn't have arrows, so he kind of starting handed me, but that's fine. And as always, this guy is going to most likely be Miner Poison. So the key with this matchup, and this is something that you have to learn with this deck, is if they use their poison on defense, then they do not have their poison on offense. That is super important. That means their only source of damage is that Miner, and you can beat that. We are going to Barbarian Bow here. I was trying to protect the egg. It didn't really work out, honestly. A bad Barbarian Bow, but here we go. We are going to try and catch the Miner here. Didn't quite work out, but we will melt it with the Mighty Miner. He goes Tower of Power on defense, and we are just going to Graveyard here since we have a Mighty Miner going towards him to tank, and we can freeze those archers. So he just gave me good freeze value there. This tombstone, or this tombstone, weird looking tombstone body. Graveyard is going to do some damage. We will use the ability. We didn't quite hit the tower, but that's okay. And now we just get set up on defense. We will Barbarian Bow these archers. He's deciding to switch lanes, which is super important. We can ignore those wall breakers. They're going to get countered by that tombstone, and we have a massive damage lead right now, all because he didn't want to poison on defense for some reason. So here I'm going to play a Phoenix at the back. Just play it slow, play it defensive, and he goes archers opposite lane. Okay, that's very interesting. And then, okay, he's trying to rush me. I see you, buddy. Archers are going to take care of everything though. Playing a Mighty Miner there just to tank. Going to play a tombstone here. He can't poison the tombstone, otherwise I will just Graveyard his tower, and he does not want that. We are going to use the Mighty Miner's ability just to be a bit annoying. Going to also play my Barbarian Bow, start another Phoenix at the back, and play it slow. Wait for your opportunity. The opportunity will come. Don't force it, wait for it. That's the important thing with this deck. We are going to Tombstone defensively, and there it is. He wasted his poison spell, so now we can go in. He only has archers and goblins for this Graveyard, so we are going to arrows the goblins away, and that Archer's locked on to the tower doing damage, that Graveyard's doing some chip damage, and once again we get a big damage lead there. Going to play Archers on defense, get ready with the Tombstone. He's going to most likely Wall Breakers. He does, so we will Tombstone very easily, and we will play a Phoenix on defense. Going to Mighty Miner in front of these Archers, and like I said, even though this looks like a bad matchup, and it probably is a bad matchup, you can just outplay them, outmaneuver them, and win. Notice how even though he poisoned that Graveyard as well, the Graveyard is still doing damage. So even though he's spending 4 elixir to counter it, it's not enough. We are going to very easily counter all this. We will play a Tombstone. We are going to arrows away those goblins. And honestly, we could freeze this right side, and I'm going to do that. Mighty Miner freeze cheese. Like I said, you don't always have to freeze the tower on the left with Graveyard. He does the snoring emote, he's mad, but he got outplayed 8 ways till Sunday. On to the next deck, Expo. Now what really good Expo players do is they get a damage lead with their Expo, and then they play defensive the entire game. Into a game here against Alan Hart's Bait, going to cycle Skeletons at the back. Tessa will obviously counter that Phoenix very nicely, and then he goes Barbarian Bow at the back. Okay, so maybe Graveyard. He could also be Electro Giant, but I'm guessing Graveyard because we see a Tombstone as well. Okay, so that's fine. We are going to play Archers here behind this Knight just to help it out, and he goes Skeleton King. So we are actually going to Expo here opposite lane. That Skeleton King is like one of his only tanks, so obviously a good Expo right now is very bad for this guy. He does a pretty good job defending though, has to be said. Knight for that Skeleton King. This Phoenix will do a little bit of chip damage, but that's fine. And here we are just going to split Archers at the back. Knight destroys that Tombstone, which is nice. And we will go in here with an Expo. Going to also get ready to Tesla at the bridge in case he's Skeleton Kings. He doesn't though, and we get a lock onto the tower. That is big. That is huge. That is massive. Whatever word you want to use. It is ginormous. There we go. Using all the big fancy words today. We very easily counter that Phoenix. We can ignore that Ice Wizard, and we have a damage lead. What you'd love to see. He says good luck, we say good game, and that's it. One of these decks got me a 12-0 grand challenge, 11 epic cards, 110 rares, and I'm super excited for that Royal tournament. Let's open up this chest. Hopefully we get something good. We get gold. I really need that. We get 1 Dark Goblin. Boy howdy. 29 Skeletons, 31 Fire Spirits, 37 Royal Recruits, 41 Skeleton Bows, 108 Teslas, 18 Elixir Collectors, 23 Giants, 28 Earthquakes, 199 Cannons, 40 Tombstones. It's a yikes. This chest is terrible. 534 Electro Spirits and 11 Expos. Luckily, I'm completely maxed, so this doesn't matter. But yo, I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like. Of course, subscribe if you have not already. Come back tomorrow to see what deck got me 12-0. And as always, make sure you guys take care, brush your hair, and peace out. Woo!